Hey everyone, ready to dive into some Enneagram compatibility.
Always.
Okay, so today we're looking at Type 1 and Type 7.
Ooh, interesting combo.
Right. The Perfectionist and the Enthusiast. Seems a little paradoxical, don't you think?
You know, it kind of is. That's actually what got me thinking about this pair in the first place.
Yeah.
You've got type 1, all about order, principles that drive for the right way to do things.
Yeah.
And then you have type 7, totally thrives on spontaneity, got to be new experiences, always keeping things light.
So how does that even work? Can they build a lasting connection with all those differences?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is. So let's break it down, starting with those core traits. What really defines a Type 1?
Well, at their heart, they're all about integrity.
Mm.
They really want to make the world a better place. You often hear them called reformers, you know?
Yeah, I'd see that. Always seeing what needs fixing.
Exactly. And they're not afraid to get their hands dirty to make it happen.
High standards for themselves and everyone else.
Mhm. Definitely. That can be a strength, but also maybe where conflict comes in, especially with the type 7.
Makes sense. Okay, so what about those Type 7s? All about enthusiasm, that zest for life, right?
Absolutely. It all comes down to experiencing life to the fullest.
In what way?
New experiences, ideas, connections, anything that keeps things interesting, you know.
So, like, if a Type 7 was stuck in a job with no room to grow, they'd be out of there.
Oh, yeah. They'd feel totally suffocated. Start looking for an escape hatch, even if it meant taking a risk. That fear of stagnation, it's a huge motivator for them.
Gotcha. So we've got the reformer who's structured and the adventurer who craves new stuff. How do they even communicate? Their styles seem like they'd clash.
You're right. Communication can be tricky for this pair. It's where the rubber meets the road.
I like that analogy.
Type 1s are super direct, focus on facts, logic, always want a clear solution.
Makes sense.
And that's great, but for a type 7 who avoids negativity, it can feel like criticism, too demanding, and that leads to misunderstandings.
I bet. And the Type 7 probably just deflects with humor or changes the subject entirely, huh?
Spot on. Type 7s are masters of the positive spin. For some people, that's refreshing.
Right?
But a type 1 wants to tackle problems head on. They might wonder, are we ever going to actually solve this?
Uh-huh. Oh, I can see the frustrations, like they're speaking different languages.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, so imagine them planning a vacation. Type 1's got the color-coded itinerary, suitcase packed for anything.
Right.
And Type 7 bursts in, hey, let's ditch this and backpack through the Amazon.
Oh, perfect example. You know, it sounds disastrous, but that highlights something interesting about them.
What's that?
The potential for balance. Type 1 brings the stability, Type 7 brings the excitement. Classic push and pull.
So it could be chaos or amazing growth.
Exactly. And
That-
these insights, by the way, they come from personality NFT.
Interesting. So they could each learn a lot from the other. Type 1 loosens up, Type 7 gets some grounding, right?
Yeah, finding that sweet spot is key. It's not about changing who you are, but working with those differences.
I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
but let's be real. No relationship is perfect. Where are these two likely to butt heads?
Oh, so many places. But one of the biggest is probably decision-making. Type 1s, they analyze everything, pros, cons, gotta be the right choice, you know?
Right.
But for a Type 7, excruciating. They're impulsive, exploring options, might even change their mind halfway through.
Oh, yeah, I can see the tension already. Type 1's frustrated. Type 7 feels trapped.
Totally. And then there's planning. Type 1s love a good plan. Stick to it, everything's peaceful.
Of course.
Type 7, deviate at any moment, see a detour as a new adventure.
It's like they're approaching life from different planets.
Yeah.
But okay, before we get too negative, what about the good stuff? Can they actually complement each other?
Oh, absolutely. Here's the thing, they're both future-oriented.
Really?
Yeah, they're visionaries in their own way. Type 1 sees a better world, works to make it happen.
Okay.
Type 7 dreams up possibilities, chases them with all that enthusiasm.
So even though the approaches are different, that shared future vision can unite them.
Exactly. It's like Type 1's got the blueprint, Type 7 brings the colors.
I like that. So how does this play out in, say, a friendship?
Think of it as grounded meets explorer. The Type 1 friend is the rock, always there, honest advice, practical help.
Yeah.
Type 7 friend, they bring the fun, the spontaneity, always up for trying new things, keeps it light.
They balance each other out.
Yeah.
Okay, what about at work? Could they actually work together on a project?
This is where it gets really interesting. Imagine a Type 1 leading a project, meticulous plans, timelines, backup plans for the backup plans.
I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
Right, but then you add the Type 7, that's where the magic happens.
Wait, you're saying a Type 7's flightiness is an asset at work?
Absolutely. They think outside the box, can pivot when needed, bring that innovative spark.
Okay, I'm seeing it.
Like, picture a tech startup. Type 1 CEO keeps everyone on track. Type 7 marketing director comes up with the next viral campaign.
Wow, powerful combo. But let's be real, work can be tough. What pitfalls might they hit?
Deadlines, for sure. Type 1 will move mountains to meet them, working late, stressing over every detail. Type 7, more relaxed approach. Exploring options, sometimes, procrastinating a bit.
Oh boy, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah,
Type 1's freaking out, Type 7's just vibing along.
exactly. And then there's communication. Type 1's directness, even if it's meant to be helpful, can come across as harsh to a Type 7.
Right.
And Type 7 might sugarcoat things to keep the peace, which the Type 1 sees as insincere.
Ugh, a communication minefield. So how do they navigate that and actually thrive together at work?
Open communication is key. Type 1s soften the delivery, focus on collaboration, not just what's wrong. Remember, Type 7s are sensitive.
Okay.
And Type 7s, you got to learn to express your needs directly, even when it's tough. No more sweeping things under the rug.
Honesty is key.
Exactly. A little Type 1 directness will actually help you grow. Okay, but let's shift gears. What about romance?
Oh, yes. We talked about the initial attraction, but what about the long haul?
This is where it gets really fascinating. The initial spark. Electric. They're drawn to the contrast, you know?
Like magnets.
Type 1 loves the Type 7's vibrancy, the optimism. That makes life an adventure.
Right.
And the Type 7, intrigued by the Type 1's depth, their sense of purpose. It feels safe.
I never thought about it that way. So Type 1's planning actually frees up the Type 7 to be more spontaneous.
It's true. It takes care of the logistics, lets them just enjoy the ride.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But as that honeymoon phase fades,
Yeah, those differences can start to cause friction.
what are some common issues for them?
Planning and spontaneity. No surprise there. Type 1 wants predictability, a routine.
Makes sense.
Type 7 resists that, always craving new things.
Oh yeah, picture this. Type 1's planning date night weeks in advance. Type 7 suggests a last-minute road trip with no destination.
Exactly. And then there's how they express love.
Oh, right.
Type 1 might show love through acts of service, planning that perfect birthday party, doing all the chores. Type 7, more about words of affirmation, compliments, maybe whisking you away on an adventure.
Different love languages. They're both expressing love, but in ways the other might not get.
Exactly. And if they don't learn to speak each other's language, misunderstandings, resentment, all that fun stuff.
Good intentions gone wrong, huh?
You got it.
So how do they fix that? How do they keep the spark alive when they're so different?
It goes deeper than just saying what you need, you know?
Okay.
You got to understand each other. Type 1s, feedback has to feel supportive, not like an attack.
Right.
Don't focus on what's wrong, suggest ways to work together, improve. Type 7s are sensitive.
Yeah, good point.
And Type 7s, be direct, even when it's uncomfortable. No more avoiding those tough talks.
Honesty is key.
It is, especially for a Type 1. It builds trust. So what else helps?
Beyond communication, what else makes this pairing work? Romance, friendship, work, all of it.
Learning to actually use each other's strengths, that's huge.
How so?
Type 1s, embrace that. Type 7 spontaneity. Let them drag you out of your routine sometimes. Try new stuff.
You might actually have fun. And Type 7's that grounded Type 1 energy, learn from it.
Yeah.
Their organization, follow through. It can enhance your freedom, not restrict it.
So those differences aren't just problems, they're strengths.
Exactly. But of course, compromise is always going to be part of it.
Especially for these two, I bet. How does that even work?
Type 1's, gotta bend the rules sometimes. Let Type 7 plan a spontaneous outing, even if it messes with your schedule.
Okay.
And Type 7's, honor those commitments even when you want to be off exploring. Show you respect their need for structure.
Finding that balance where they both feel good.
Yeah. Any last thoughts for our listeners who are dealing with this pairing?
Oh, good question.
Remember, compatibility is a journey, not a finish line. Embrace the ups and downs, the clashes, the good moments, and never underestimate humor.
So true.
A little laughter goes a long way. Like Personality NFT says, it's about celebrating the differences as much as what you have in common.
Great advice. So it's not about finding that perfect match.
No. It's about appreciating how those personalities make your relationship unique.
Exactly.
Well, I think that wraps up our deep dive into Type 1 and Type 7.
It does.
Hopefully, everyone listening now gets how these opposites can not only get along, but thrive.
It's been great exploring this with you and with everyone listening.
Definitely.
And remember, whatever your type, self-awareness, empathy, those are the keys to a good relationship.
Couldn't have said it better myself.